Alright guys, so I've been promising a lot of you to actually make a video on what is called Battlefield 2042 movement, and I've been doing this for the past 2 months, just telling people that stay tuned, I'm going to make that video. But you know, the leaks for Battlefield 6 have been all over the place, so I needed to cover those. I was like, dude, we have some time between the reveal trailer and the multiplayer trailer, why not do this? And I don't really see a lot of guides on YouTube telling people what to do. Like, I see these videos with tricky movements and, you know, stuff that really don't actually make sense and are not really practical when it comes to real gameplay. So I'm here to give you a definitive guide on 2042 movement. This might be late, but according to what I see in the game, we have so many new players to 2042. I don't know if it's because of the reveal or it's just because of Battlefield 6, Battlefield Labs. I'm not really sure, but I've been seeing this trend for the past 4 months probably. And I really see a lot of new players coming to the game. So this is for those new players who want to learn a few things about the movement, or for the old players who also want to know how they can improve that movement. So without further ado guys, let's go ahead. Just before we start, I want to tell you that today's video is divided into 2 parts. I'm going for a basic part of this video and the advanced part. So the basic part isn't something less significant. It's not like that. It's just what you have to do and what you have to know to be able to receive what I have for you in the advanced part. So the basic part is about b-hopping and crouch spamming. If you don't know what those things are, just stay around. And if you do, just skip to the advanced part. So let's go ahead and start this. So about b-hopping, I'm pretty sure you see a lot of players doing something like this. You see, people just do things like this across the map. While some people actually, you know, say this is not good for the franchise and those kind of stuff, maybe I agree with you. Maybe I don't really like people b-hopping in a Battlefield game. But like it or not, this is 2042. This is a, you know, basic game mechanic that if you don't use, you'll be in a disadvantage when it comes to gunfights, and your enemies will have that advantage. So instead of hating on it, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. You can't remove this from 2042, but what you can do is actually learn how to do this, how to play the game in a better manner. So this is what you do, guys, okay? B-hopping is all about momentum. So if you don't have momentum, it's going to be harder to b-hop. As you can see, without momentum, I won't be able to go further. That's it. A few meters and I'll be stopped, okay? But with just a little bit of momentum, you know, something like this, I'll be able to travel further. So you see, that's a big leap when it comes to b-hopping. So how do you actually do that? Just keep in mind that momentum actually matters. Sometimes you can gain that momentum by sliding. You see, you run, you slide and you jump, and then you spam that jump. Sometimes you can jump and then start sliding and you still have that momentum. Some people actually know that if you jump from some height, I don't mean like 20 meters because that way you'll take damage, right? But if you jump from a height like this, maybe even higher just a bit, and then start spamming your jump button, you're gonna have some distance to travel, right? So that's also one thing. And for those who play McKay can actually gain some momentum while using the grapple hook. Just like this. Use the grapple hook and you've got your momentum. And that's a big momentum. Look at that. Look at that leap. So that's a really good distance for travel when it comes to b-hopping. Okay, so now you know what b-hopping is. You know how to gain momentum, but you don't really know how to do this, right? A lot of people make the mistake of actually pressing the movement buttons. On PC, it's WASD, but on controller, it has to be one of your joysticks. So if I go ahead and press that when it comes to b-hopping, press those movement buttons, I'm going to be stopped. So I can't really do any b-hop. So that's what's very important about b-hopping. You shouldn't touch those buttons that actually make you move around. So no movement, whether it be left and right, forward and backwards, you don't touch those. Make your momentum, and as soon as you hit the ground, you're gonna slide, and then you're gonna just spam space. But when you have to spam space is some sort of timing thing, okay? You have to time it right. So as soon as you touch the ground, you're gonna jump. If you're doing this from a height, which in my opinion is good for those beginners who want to learn how to do this, do it from a height. Do it from a height like this, okay? The first time you hit the ground, you're going to slide, and then immediately after sliding, you're going to time your jumps exactly when you hit the ground. So slide, jump, 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 jump. That's it. Without any movement key pressed. You don't press those movement keys, okay? So that's how you do it. If I want to do this without a height advantage, without actually jumping off that rock right there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprint, slide, jump, 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 jump. So you see the shadow actually right there. It demonstrates how I time my jumps to get that perfect b-hop. You can see the shadow. You can also do something else. Again, you can jump, slide, and then start jumping. Same results. Doesn't really matter. Whatever you get used to is going to be okay. But in my opinion, jumping and sliding, sometimes it takes some more time to start. Whereas if you just slide and start jumping, it's going to be faster. Maybe jumping before sliding gives you just a little bit more momentum, but not that big of a difference, to be honest. So that's about b-hopping. If I want to go through it one more time to basically give you a review of everything we've learned so far, what you're going to do is that you either use some height advantage or just do it without a height advantage. But this time I'm going to give you some height advantage again. What you're going to do is that you're going to jump, maybe even sprint, then jump. The first time you hit the ground, you're going to slide and then immediately start jumping and time your jumps every single time that you hit the ground. Slide, and as soon as I touch the ground, I start jumping and I time my jumps. Now, what's very important is the timing, okay? The only thing that you have to do over and over to get used to is timing your jumps to keep that momentum. A wrong timing actually destroys your momentum and destroys your b-hop. Just like this, you see? This is a bad jump. It actually stole my momentum. So this b-hopping actually helps you a lot. It's going to make you harder for enemies to hit. That's one point, but it's going to make traveling from one point to another basically easier, and it takes less time for you. If I just try to run until I reach the end of this tank, it's going to take some time. But doing it with the b-hopping is going to buy you some time, and it's going to make it harder for the enemy to reach you, which is a bonus point. So that was about b-hopping, and let's completely move on to crouch spamming. Crouch spamming is just doing this, right? And combining it with movement to somehow, evade bullets when it comes to gunfights. Now, this is very hard to implement when it comes to gunfights, but sometimes it just comes naturally. Like, you do something like this, and you start crouch spamming until you hit the target. But this works against some players, doesn't really work against other players. If that player is actually holding the aim high for your head, and you suddenly just crouch, that's going to completely ruin their aim. Maybe against the players who actually know how to play, crouch spamming is actually something better, because the lower the skill, the lower the aim. They just hold here. They aim at your butt, they aim at your stomach sometimes. So as soon as you go crouch, that aim is on your head. So it really depends on who you play against, okay? But it's a good skill if you develop it. You do something like this, you start crouch spamming, shooting your target, and it's going to make you harder to hit. So combining these two together, b-hopping and crouch spamming, actually gives you the basics of movement when it comes to 2042. Work on b-hopping and then try to implement what I'm going to tell you in the advanced part. Alright, so welcome to the advanced part of the video. Here I'm going to tell you what I like to call the reverse jump. Okay, this is what you see a lot of people do in their gunfights, and it's the ultimate thing that actually makes people harder to hit. In 2042, as you can see, you don't really need momentum for this. You don't even really need that. You see, you can jump around just like that. You see my shadow, so it's really easy to see what's going on when it comes to it, like in a real game scenario. That's what happens. So I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of people doing things like this when it comes to gunfights. Just look at this. Okay, that's what they do, and it really makes them harder to hit because they just jump around. Okay, now this also has timing, and you should know how to do this. So that's why I call it the reverse jump, because you jump around doing things like this, right? And this actually, when combined with shooting, becomes your best friend in the gunfights, especially against those mediocre and above average players. So how to do this? It's really simple. This actually needs timing too, so pay attention. I'm going right, and I start jumping. As soon as I touch the ground, look, as soon as I touch the ground, I start going left. Okay, so keep that in mind. I go right, start jumping. As soon as I hit the ground, I'm going to go left. Okay, that's it. Simple. So you go right, jump, go left, jump, right, left, jump. Simple. It needs some time and energy to actually get used to it. I know it's hard. It was hard for myself to learn something like this. You don't really see a lot of people actually telling you this on YouTube for some reason. I don't know why, but I really had to learn this by experience. When I just started playing this game, I believe it was on season 5, it was really hard for me to get used to that movement, but here I am. So you don't really have to go through all that process. What you have to do is get used to the timing. Now what I mean by timing is that if you go right and just press space, you're going to lose momentum, and eventually you're going to stop jumping. Your character can't jump without moving. You can't just do this. You can't spam this. It's not working. It's not helping you in the gunfights, right? So this is a bad timing. Look at this. This is a bad timing. You're going to stop moving around, and you're just going to start jumping on the same spot. Okay, what you want is good timing when it comes to pressing left and right. Be able to maintain that momentum and start doing the reverse jump. This is something I call reverse jump. It doesn't really matter, whatever you want to call it, be my guest. But this is actually something that really helps you when it comes to gunfights. Okay, just keep in mind that as soon as you jump, look, as soon as you jump, start pressing left. And as soon as you jump left, start pressing right. And as soon as your character actually leans to right or left, jump with it. Okay, so you can see that I don't immediately jump around. Like, my character just really leans to right one bit and then I jump. Okay, left, right, and then I jump. Too soon, you're gonna lose momentum and you're ruined. So that's the timing you need to get used to. Now, if I want to completely just combine everything that we've learned so far, just imagine that there's someone here right behind this tank, okay, crouched here. If I'm here, I can get myself there with a B-hop, right? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna jump back at him, right? Jump back. That's very important. You see, jumping back at the target that you've just passed completely just ruins their aim, and it's gonna make you an opening to basically finish them off. I start b-hopping, start shooting this dude, come back, and you can do that for the right side of the tank. Doesn't really matter. This jump left that I do here completely destroys the other dude's aim. Now, you don't really have to start b-hopping if you want to do something like this. Say you're close to the target. You don't really need any b-hop. You just go here, do something like this, right? Again, you just sprint, jump, start shooting, start going left and right, and then that's going to be it. Very simple, but very useful trick. Knowing these two in battlefield movement kind of guarantees you that you're okay when it comes to movement. You're good. All it comes back to is actually doing these kind of stuff over and over and over again until you completely get used to it. Now, even for myself, being away from Battlefield 2042 for a couple of days kind of ruins my movement. I have to just rebuild that muscle memory to know exactly when to press what and when to jump, when to b-hop. Those kind of stuff actually take me some time to get used to again. All you have to do is put some time and energy there, repeat this over and over until you get used to it. Now, I want to give you some bonus tip here. So again, imagine someone's here, crouched, okay? And I want to attack them from here. I'm here, okay? There are things you can do. If you want to just completely finish them off fast and go behind that cover, you can do something like this, like b-hop, and then peek like this. You can do that. If you want to jump back behind this cover, you don't need b-hopping, okay? We're gonna sprint, jump, start shooting, get back, and you're behind cover, okay? So you're not exposing yourself a lot. But if you want to travel from this one to that one, and you know there's someone in between the tanks, what you're gonna do is you're gonna b-hop, start shooting the dude, go back here. Now, if the dude is dead, perfectly fine. If not, you can just jump back, kill them, and go back behind cover. Something like this. This is very common when it comes to peeking people. And you see a lot of people just doing something like this, okay? Doing something like this. Or this. Okay? This actually makes one big issue. Like, out of the blue, it's gonna make you a huge problem. Imagine someone is here and you want to kill them, but you don't know that there is someone else here, just aiming directly at you. If you just jump and stand still, do nothing, you're gonna kill this dude. But most likely, the dude here is gonna kill you because you're standing still. You're basically an easy target. What movement actually does is that it's gonna remove your chances, or actually decrease your chances of getting just killed by random dudes that are holding a line, okay? That's the actual benefit of having the reverse jump, and in general, having movement in a Battlefield game. Doesn't really matter what Battlefield game, but when it comes to it, we're talking about 2042. Okay, that's what's very important. I'm going to show you one clip. This is very interesting when it comes to people who are holding a line. And you with movement not only don't die to them, but you actually get a kill on them. Just look at this scene. I jump. I know there's one person there, but all of a sudden, there are 3 other people there. So as you can see, I use the reverse jump. I survive, not only survive, but kill them all. Of course, a part of this is because of the AC-9, which is a very, very powerful weapon in 2042. But the bigger portion of why I succeeded in that 1v4 gunfight is because of the reverse jump. Reverse jump can actually save your life. Every single time that I play, if you pay attention, you're going to see the reverse jump in my gameplay when it's needed. Sometimes there's someone here, you don't want to even peek them. You don't want to peek like this, right? You don't want to do this. A simple jump, you don't even need to run or anything. A simple jump is going to give them a heart attack, basically. Look at this. Simple jump. And then you can come back to cover. So simple jump, come back to cover. Reload, and get back to your gunfight. This is also something to keep in mind because you see a lot of people just peeking like this, right? Just doing stuff like this. They know there's someone here, they peek and they get the kill, but if there's someone else holding this line, they're dead. Lean right, go right, and as soon as you're going to exit cover, jump. That's what happens. You shoot a target, you go back behind cover. This is basically everything you need to know about 2042's movement. Now, this might sound simple, but when it comes to implementing this in the game, it's going to get hard. I guarantee that it's going to take some time and effort to actually get used to these kind of stuff. Go ahead, try that out. Let me know if it works. Let me know if you have any other questions regarding anything that we've talked about so far. And just let me know the impact that it has on your gameplay. It will completely just change it because a lot of people, especially the newer players that are found everywhere in 2042 these days, don't really know much about these kind of stuff. So I hope this video was helpful. Hope this was somewhat informative. I hope you guys are actually hitting those goals of movement in 2042. I know sometimes 2042 sucks. If you're going to play this game, at least for a few months until the next Battlefield game releases, you're going to need to know how to move in this game. So I hope you implement it, and I hope it actually works for you, works in your favor. And I really hope you're going to do all right. Thank you all guys for watching. Until next time, guys, stay cool.